So I'm asked a lot how to tell family and friends about autism and explain what it is when your child gets that diagnosis. I think it's good to sort of pave the way for yourself because you will be asked a lot of questions and you're figuring out for yourself as well. You may not know how exactly to articulate it. I actually sent out a text just to everyone and went, hey, just got this diagnosis. You guys knew I was thinking about it. Just wanted to let you know. We can talk about it more when I see you. So I think it's really good to just, let everyone know and then have the different conversations as and when you see them.
After your young person's received a diagnosis, there's that ripple effect of how do we message this across the family? How do we let friends and family know? In the first instance, we just wanted to put a wall up and go, everyone keep out. We need a month or so to just be in the cave and be all together and process this and grieve and try and put together a coherent plan. But increasingly, everyone rings up, how you going? What's been happening? So putting together some sort of plan about how you're going to be doing things now, how that might impact on how you interact with, particularly if you've got friends and family with siblings of a similar age. What are they going to say? Will they say something that's going to really upset you? If there's going to be commentary on difference or how come your child does that and my child does this, they can become triggers for huge emotional responses. So briefing your family and your friends on how you'd like to deal with this.
My response generally is to really just say to them, well, that's tough. It's my child, my rules. I haven't had to really get too forceful too much, thank goodness.
I think just pretty much just go on the journey with the parents. I think, just research but also just give space as well, I guess.
I think if you give advice to grandparents, it would be understand that we don't have all the answers either yet. And we're finding them out and we'll share them when we have them. And just as much as you're worried, we are too, and we've got to be patient and learn it together.
Talking to family about anything, there are different tiers of who will understand what well and how much we go into detail with this person or that auntie or uncle or whatever, but the family members that we have the closest and most supportive relationships with, we want them to understand this and engage with it in a genuine way. So we don't want to just dump heaps of reading on them or things like that, but where we can kind of have a conversation or maybe recommend a good resource, we'll do that.
Explain it just sort of in terms of your child. So you don't have to explain autism in all of its variations. You've got this just one example in your family and go, look, this is what autism means for our child. You know how he has trouble with A, B, C, and D and how I do these things to help. That's what autism is for this child. And if you explain it like that and just sort of use your child as the example, they don't have to comprehend all of it because it's quite a big thing to comprehend. It can be so different. And then the questions they have can be about your child specifically. And once again, you don't have to sort of go into all the intricacies of it. I still don't understand everything about autism. I just know how it affects my kids.
The conversation you have with your kids when they have a brother or sister with autism changes. And quite frankly, when they're younger, they're just annoyed and embarrassed because they got a brother who's just a pain, right? And they don't see it any other way because they haven't got any other lens or filter or label that's been provided to them. So they're just seeing it as, he's annoying. I don't want to be around him, which is actually quite normal.
I think there has to be an agreement between the parents about how's the best way to speak about autism to siblings, and that's really age dependent. Obviously, you're not going to sit down with a child under 5 and give them a big talk about what autism is and what does it mean to have a sibling with autism. But as children get older, they do need to know and they do need to understand, and that helps bring the whole family along for the ride.
But what we tried to do whenever scenarios would happen is have conversations with his brother or his sister and say, Liam's not doing this on purpose, this is why this is happening and this is how you could help him. It really is an open conversation, constantly trying to help Liam become this, normal family situation.
It's really important that you as the parent speak to your child's siblings about autism in a positive way. You might have different feelings about it at different times, but it's important that siblings don't think that autism is this terrible thing that's come into the family. It's just they have a sibling who's just a little bit different, who sees things differently, and that's cool. It's important to try and take a strengths-based approach when we look at this.
I keep coming back to a theme. I'm not embarrassed to say my son is autistic. In fact, I think it's his greatest defining quality because it explains who he is, but it also explains what he's capable of and actually talks to potential as well, because there's things that he's fabulously gifted as because he is autistic. I think the labeling and the naming and the conversations around it, for me, have generally been positive.